Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaying the Castles of Tuscany.
So this is the game of the Castles of Tuscany. The very first thing that happens before you start is you select one of these extra things to add onto your board, and that will give you some benefits. So let me talk you through how the game actually works. Start with 5 cards. I'll turn them over so you can see what they look like. You'll notice they have little icons or pictures or colors depending on what you read the best. That is what is on those cards. What you're looking to do is turn in a pair of cards to place one of these markers onto your board. However, when you place on your board, you must place it next to your castle. So one of these 3 spots is all that's available for this player, meaning that he's really forced into having to go after the orange one because none of the green ones are available. This player, however, is able to go after water or farm or these dark grey quarries or these ones or the yellow. So he's really got his castle in a good spot to go for it. When you place one of the tokens onto your board, you will then get whatever is next to it on the picture on this board. So let's talk through what we can do. The reality is you have 3 options on your turn. You can draw region cards. These are the region cards. So the number of cards that you draw is 2 normally. This player will be able to draw 3 because he has that tile next to his region cards. There is no limit on the number of cards you can have in your hand. So by drawing more cards, it gives you more options. You may find that you wish to do that a while at the beginning of the game. You may not, but that's fine. Either way is absolutely fine. You can take a tile, which means taking one of these 6, let's say he decides to take that, and placing it on this space. Now you notice this guy has one more spot. This guy only has the one. So if he took that tile, that limits him to being able to either place this one, or he would need to pass that out of the game in order to place a different tile type on the space, simply because he only has one space. Whereas this guy has 2 spaces, so he can do that one time. He could do that one time, and then after that he will be able to, or he would need to discard them in order to be able to get more in. When you take the one tile, you replace it with one of your own tiles. The third option you have on your turn, and this realistically is what you're trying to do as much as possible, is to play cards in order to put this tile onto your board. So the tile going onto your board must be next to your castle to start with. Once I have that tile on my board, I can then build in any of these spots. Once I've filled this one up, I can fill into any of these spots. So basically next to one of the freestanding pieces. In order to play that tile onto his board, he would need to play a pair of the orange cards. So if he played that, he could then put that onto his board. If you don't have a pair of orange cards, what you could do is play one orange card and a pair of something else. Or if you have no orange cards and you wish to go for that tile, you can play 2 pairs of something else. They go face up into the discard pile. Now the other thing that happens when you place a tile is this thing. So when you place an orange tile, you get one of these guys, and he just goes there on your board for future use. The other thing that he has just managed to do is he has filled up that area of orange completely, which means he gets 1 point. Points are scored on the inside track, and what happens with this is there are 3 portions of the game. When one of the players uses all of their tiles, we are at the first scoring. When a player uses their second pile of tiles, they're at the second scoring. Third pile of tiles are at the third scoring. And what's going to happen is when you hit the scoring, wherever your marker is on the red track or the inside track, you would move your outside markers. The outside markers are your actual score. The inside is what you're adding. You don't now move the inside track markers. They stay there, and they'll keep moving forward, so they might get to there by the next time. And what that means is blue is, when you get to the next scoring, blue is getting 10 points and red is getting 6. And then on the third scoring, say they're there, we get the same thing again. So he gets 20 points, he gets 14 points, etc., etc. Now, what happens with each of the tile colors? Because that's really the game, is understanding what you're going to gain by placing the tiles down. So when you place a castle on one of these dark green ones, you take one of these and place it. It must be a legal placement, by the way, but you would then take one of these and place it straight onto your board, gaining the benefits of playing that tile onto your board. If he played a red tile, which looks like that, if on this one he placed a red tile, he now gets to add one of these tokens to his board. So if he adds another one of these, he immediately gets another 2 points. As you'll notice, each of these have actually filled up their spots, so he should actually be taking a point for that and a point for that because of this. If he filled up the 3, he would take 6 points. If he filled up the 2, he would take 3 points. The next one down is the blue. So if he puts a blue in, not that the blue is legal at the moment, but if he happened to be able to put a blue in, what he would gain is one of these. And basically what that is you would need to play cards as you've previously played. Say he wished to take this spot. He would need to play a pair of those cards in order to place that in. If he were to place a farm, these are the different farm tiles. They're all singles. If he managed to add one of these, you'll notice this has 2 different types on it. What you're gaining is 1 point for each type of thing on the field. So if he were to place that one there, he would get 1 point straight away. If on a future turn he would place that one, he would get 2 points because there's 2 types of thing in the field. If on a future turn he placed that, he would get no extra points because both of those elements that are on that tile are already in the field. However, if the previous turns he had put in those 2 and he now puts this in, he's going to get 4 points for that field. If he places a stone quarry in, what he gains for adding that is one of these markers. What that piece allows him to do on a future turn is to have an extra go. So for example, he may throw that in and go, oh, I wish to do some more of those. Let's throw that in. You have to play the same cards as normal, so you've got to make sure you've got the cards in your hand, but that's how you'd use that one to get the extra stuff in. If he placed the yellow, he would gain 3 more cards from the deck, so they go straight into his hand. Playing the orange, he gets this guy. This guy stands in for a card. So if he wished to build that last field and he played that, he could play the orange with it in order to be able to move that field down, and that's now completed a group of 3, so he'd get another 6 points for that. And then finally, we look at these ones. Whenever these ones are played, that allows him to take one of these cards, and that gets him the bonus of whatever's in the cart. So in that case, he would get 2 more points. There are some cards that will give other things, but whatever's in the cart, that's what he gets. Obviously, if you expand any of these lines, you would get extras of whatever. So when you pick up a card, you would actually pick up 2 if you had that in the spot. If you have this one, it will gain 3 cards each time you pick up cards rather than just 2. And these guys allow you to take more guys in and hold on to more guys until you use them up. And that's pretty much the essence of the game. You will keep playing until someone runs out their 3rd stack. Once the 3rd round has happened, we finish off the round. So whoever has this card is the first player. If this person did it, that person would get another turn. If that person did it, this player would not get another turn. And then everyone gets 1 more turn, and that is then game. And we go to scoring. The same happens as happened with the other 2, whereas you turn this number into a number on the outside. So blue would get an extra 24 points with where it's currently sitting. Then if you've got tiles still sitting here, they're worth a point each. Any of the marble or workers that are still sitting on your board are worth a point each. You'll get 1 point for every 3 cards in your hand, and whoever has the highest score on the green track is the winner of the game. The only other thing to watch out for is once you have completed one of the different colors on your board. So if, for example, this player was able to get that, let's just imagine that that was cleaned in. I'd really prefer to have that covered up, so that feels like a completely correct board. So if the blue was totally covered up, this player would get these 2 points. So it's on the green track. He'd take the 2 points. This is then flipped over, and whoever is the second to cover up both of their blue spots would then get 1 point. Once that's then taken, that comes off the board. And that's just an automatic thing. So watch out for that. When you completely cover one of your colors, take the points, flip the tile, or take the tile off from the game. And there's one of those tiles for each different color. Notice that the farms are worth 4 points, while these ones are only worth 2 and the others are worth 3. Oh look, I think that is everything for the rules for the Castles of Tuscany. Please go ahead and watch my gameplay to get a feel for how the game actually plays. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you would like to be gamesplayed, please shoot me an email to thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter @thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.